think what we didn't do though is we picked up from that's where we started, and then let's go back to Siobhan.
That's a great
Siobhan's, look at the little hat.
Wasn't
she such an actress? And this is Siobhan and Inga making their faces into flowers, little flower petals. And this one is you holding Robin, and
with one hand.
With one hand, and Siobhan, look what she's doing. She's doing a little prayer down in the corner. And this must have been you taking.
Do we still have that thing?
Siobhan. Yeah, that's still in the living room.
Oh.
Yeah. And so there is you and Siobhan and Robin on a camping trip or something. Basically, you've got the trunk open, and maybe you just went for a hike. She's having some water. And then I like this picture here because it shows how much Siobhan loved you.
Yeah, she was cute.
She put her head on your shoulder and just, it was like, my daddy. And this is her goofing off.
Siobhan's not here anymore.
She's not here anymore. She died 24 years ago.
What from?
From a car accident. She was driving with her ex-boyfriend, and he was drinking, and they went through a red light.
And she died.
She died 24 years ago. Yeah, it's so sad.
24 years ago?
24 years ago. September 14th.
Really?
Yeah. And you found out first. You got the call, and you were devastated. And you told me at about 6 a.m. And I found out.
That must have been bad.
It was such an awful thing. Terry found out at the end of the day, on that day, September 14th. She was devastated. Everyone was devastated. This is Siobhan goofing off. Look, she's got her Mickey Mouse shirt.
She has such a weird sense of humor.
She has such a funny. She's got striped leggings, and she's got her eyes.
And a Mickey Mouse shirt.
I think she got some of her sense of humor from you, because you've always been fun. And there's Ellen and Siobhan and you in matching shirts. And this, I believe...
Those are great photos.
Those are great photos. And I think it's Robin just after he was born.
Yep.
Now this one is my mom and me. And
probably you have a great expression.
Oh, I do, don't I? That's an unusual thing, a little expression there, huh? She's looking at me.
How's Kit doing? Is she still?
Kit is doing well. She's in Berkeley. She's lived there for a long time. She's a nurse. She's been being a nurse at a place called Highland Hospital in Oakland for 40 years. She's been a psychiatric nurse. Yeah, and she does all kinds of things related to her personal growth. She's very smart.
Oh, yeah.
She knows all about politics and all that.
She used to, Oakland used to be where we get our firecrackers.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
And you two met at University of Connecticut, right? You were going to school at University of Connecticut, and you ended up meeting through Lenny Jacobowitz.
Yeah, Lenny. She was dating Lenny.
She was dating Lenny. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then
I was in the fraternity with him.
Oh, you were in the same fraternity with Lenny. Yeah. And do you remember the first moment meeting my mom when you came up to the car, and I think that she was in his car?
And she was sitting there,
yeah,
without moving, just sitting in the car in his big Cadillac. He had a Cadillac.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And she was just sitting there, looking straight ahead.
She was looking straight ahead, but you two had something for each other. You had a lot of. You were very.
And I called her.
You called her, and then what?
We dated.
You dated.
We must have.
You definitely dated.
I remember those days.
Well, you're doing pretty good right now, I'd say. You met. You went on some dates at the White Castle. You had some burgers.
The White Castle.
Yeah. And you obviously had some chemistry. You really were attracted to each other. And you know what you did is that you would spend the summers with each other. you would.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because we lived in this. We lived in Stamford.
Exactly. She lived in Darien. You lived in Stamford, Connecticut, and you would spend the summer together because you lived so near each other. And what would you do together? What are some of the stuff
We
you
gave
would do?
birth to you and.
That's true. You certainly did. You gave birth to me and Terry. You moved to California. You moved to Phoenix, and you and there we are. This is Terry was 17 and I was 18 here, and so this is at least 14 years after you two separated and went your different ways. And to me, this is one of my most meaningful pictures because it's the family reunited. You know,
I had that goofy shirt.
You had that goofy with the scarf and the tie-dye shirt, and you were going to Grateful Dead concerts at that time. But you came up to Berkeley. You went to Terry's graduation from high school, and I wanted this picture, especially with me in front of you, you tickling my leg, to remind me of that other picture. And to me, it was sad that you and my mom got divorced, and so this was meaningful to me that we were all together again. It was a chance for us to remember what it